the love you never noticed. Your cat may be showing you love every single day, and you are ignoring it without even realizing it. Not because you don't care, but because you were never taught how to recognize the way a cat truly connects. You are waiting for obvious affection, something visible, something unmistakable. But cats do not operate in that world. They never needed to. There is a silent language unfolding inside your home right now. It does not demand attention. It does not announce itself. It exists in small movements, brief contacts, subtle decisions that seem meaningless at first glance. And that is exactly why most people miss it. They are looking for intensity, while the cat communicates through precision. Researchers who study feline behavior have observed that cats avoid unnecessary energy. Every movement has a purpose. Every touch is intentional. When a cat chooses to make contact with you, even for a second, it is not random. It is a controlled action, guided by instinct and emotional awareness. In the feline world, touch is never casual. It is a form of communication. And this is where the misunderstanding begins. Because what you think is indifference may actually be respect. What you think is distance may be trust. What you think is a lack of affection may be the most honest form of love a cat can offer. A love that does not overwhelm, does not invade, but quietly includes you in its world. Experts in animal behavior often explain that cats do not express love in ways that are obvious to humans. They express it in ways that feel safe to them. And safety, for a cat, is everything. When a cat chooses to approach, to touch, to remain close, even for a moment, it is making a decision that goes against its natural caution. That decision is never small. In this video, you will discover the 7 types of contact cats use to show love. Not the ones everyone repeats, but the ones hidden in plain sight. The ones that reveal what your cat truly feels, even when it seems distant. And there is one type, number 5, that most people completely misunderstand. It often feels like rejection. It creates doubt. But once you see it for what it really is, everything changes. Because your cat was never pushing you away, it was communicating in a way you were never taught to understand. Now, stay with me, because the first type of contact is something your cat may be doing right now, and it changes the way you exist in its world. The brush, the touch, that marks you as its own. When your cat rubs against your legs, your hands, or even your face, it may look like a simple request for attention. Most people interpret it as affection in the most basic sense. But what is really happening goes far beyond that. This is not just a gesture, it is a declaration. Studies of feline behavior show that cats have scent glands concentrated around their cheeks, forehead, and sides of the body. When they press and glide against you, they are leaving behind a chemical signature, a mark that cannot be seen, but carries meaning in their world. It is how cats define what belongs to them, what is safe, what is part of their territory. And when your cat does this to you, it is not claiming you as an object. It is including you as part of its emotional environment. Researchers have observed that cats only perform this behavior with places and beings they consider secure. It is not done randomly. It is not offered to just anyone. It is reserved, intentional, selective. Think about that for a moment. Your cat is not just touching you, it is blending its identity with yours. It is saying, in its own silent way, that you are no longer separate from its world. You are part of the space where it feels protected. This is why the movement is slow, controlled, almost ritualistic. The cat is not in a rush. It takes its time, because this contact is not about urgency. It is about certainty. Experts in animal behavior explain that scent is one of the strongest emotional anchors for cats. Stronger than sight, stronger than sound. When your cat leaves its scent on you, it is creating a familiar reference, a signal that reduces stress, that reinforces connection, that stabilizes its perception of the environment. You become a point of emotional safety. And here is what most people never realize. When your cat returns and rubs against you again, it is not repeating the same action without meaning. It is reinforcing the bond, reconfirming that you still belong in that safe space it created. This is not just affection, this is trust, expressed through instinct. And once you understand that, the next type of contact becomes even more surprising, because it happens so fast that most people never even notice it. The micro-touch, the contact that happens in seconds, There is a type of contact your cat makes that is so fast, so subtle, that most people never even register it. A light brush of the tail against your arm, a quick tap of the nose on your hand, a fleeting touch as it passes by without stopping, without asking for anything. It feels insignificant, but it is not. Researchers who study feline behavior have observed that cats constantly monitor their environment, especially the beings they trust. They do not need long interactions to maintain connection. Instead, they rely on brief, intentional signals that act as emotional check-ins. This is one of them. When your cat makes a micro-touch, it is not seeking attention. It is confirming presence. It is verifying that you are there, that you are safe, that nothing has changed in the dynamic between you. In the feline world, stability is everything. And this kind of contact reinforces that stability without creating vulnerability. Think about the precision of that action. Your cat could walk past you without touching you at all, but it chooses not to. It chooses to make contact, even if only for a second. That choice is what gives the gesture meaning. Specialists in animal behavior explain that cats are highly efficient communicators. They avoid unnecessary exposure, unnecessary energy. So, when they initiate even the smallest form of contact, it carries intention, it serves a purpose. And the purpose here is connection without dependency. This is not the kind of love that demands, it is the kind that observes, adjusts, and confirms. Your cat is not asking for reassurance. It is simply making sure the bond is still intact. And here is where it becomes even more interesting. These micro-touches often happen when your attention is elsewhere. When you are distracted, working, looking away, almost as if the cat does not need you to respond. It only needs to complete the gesture. Because, for the cat, the message has already been delivered. You are still part of its world. And once you begin to notice these moments, you will realize how often your cat has been reaching out to you in ways you never saw. But the next type of contact goes deeper, because it is not about a quick confirmation. It is about choosing to stay. The press? When your cat touches you and stays. There is a moment when your cat does something different. It does not just pass by. It does not touch and leave. It comes closer, makes contact with your body, and then it stays. It might lean against your leg, rest its side on your arm, sit pressed against you without asking for anything, without making a sound. To most people, this feels like simple comfort. But what is happening here is far more precise. This is not about touch. It is about permanence. Studies of feline behavior show that cats are extremely selective with how long they expose themselves. Remaining in contact means lowering their guard. It means choosing not to retreat. And for an animal wired for caution, that decision carries weight. When your cat presses its body against you and stays, it is not just seeking warmth or convenience. It is aligning itself with you, creating a shared physical space where both exist without tension. Researchers have observed that cats use sustained contact to regulate their internal state. The rhythm of your breathing, the stillness of your body, even your presence without movement becomes a stabilizing force. In that moment, your cat is not just near you, it is synchronizing with you. And synchronization is a deeper form of connection than simple affection. Think about how deliberate this is. Your cat could sit anywhere else. It could choose distance, elevation, isolation, but it chooses proximity, not briefly, but continuously. It chooses to remain experts in animal behavior explain that this type of contact reflects a level of trust that goes beyond curiosity or habit. It shows that the cat feels no need to monitor for threats in that moment. It is at ease. And ease, for a cat, is never given lightly. There is also something else happening that most people overlook. When your cat presses against you, it is creating a boundary, a physical statement that says, this is where I am, and this is where you are, and for now, we are the same space. This is not dependency, this is chosen closeness. And once you recognize that, the next type of contact reveals something even more vulnerable. Because it involves a part of the cat's body that is never exposed without reason. The head connection, the complete act of trust. There is a moment when your cat does something that seems simple, almost familiar. It approaches you, lifts its head, and presses it gently against you. Sometimes against your hand, sometimes your face, sometimes your chest. Most people call it a headbutt. But that word hides what is really happening. Studies of feline behavior show that the head is one of the most vulnerable parts of a cat's body. It holds the eyes, the senses, the primary tools for survival. In the wild, protecting the head is instinctive. Exposing it requires certainty. So, when your cat chooses to move its head toward you and make direct contact, it is not just affection. It is a calculated act of trust. Researchers have observed that this behavior combines two powerful signals at once. First, the cat is marking you with scent, reinforcing the bond. But second, and more important, it is lowering its guard in a way that it would never do in an uncertain environment. It is choosing not to protect itself. Think about the precision of that decision. Your cat is close enough to observe you without touching. It could maintain distance and still remain safe. But instead, it closes that gap. It initiates contact with the most sensitive part of its body. Experts in animal behavior explain that this gesture reflects a level of emotional security that cannot be forced, it cannot be trained, it cannot be simulated. It only happens when the cat has fully accepted your presence as not threatening, and that acceptance is rare. There is also a deeper layer that most people never notice. When your cat presses its head against you, it often pauses, even for a second. That pause is not accidental. It is a moment of stillness, where the cat allows the contact to exist without interruption. That stillness is the signal. It is not testing you. It is not checking. It already knows you are safe. And once a cat reaches that level of certainty, its behavior begins to change in ways that are easy to misunderstand. Because the next type of contact often feels confusing, sometimes even uncomfortable. It looks like rejection, but it is not. The unexpected contact, the gesture that feels like rejection, there is a moment when your cat approaches you, makes contact, and then suddenly pulls away. Sometimes it even pushes your hand, turns its body, or walks off right after touching you. To most people, this feels like rejection. It creates doubt. It makes you think the cat changed its mind. But that is not what is happening. Studies of feline behavior show that cats regulate interaction with extreme precision. They do not surrender control of contact, they manage it. Every approach, every touch, every withdrawal is part of a balance between connection and self-protection. When your cat touches you and then pulls away, it is not rejecting you. It is controlling the intensity of the bond. Researchers have observed that cats often limit the duration of contact to avoid overstimulation. Their nervous system is sensitive. What feels gentle to you can quickly become overwhelming for them. So, instead of allowing the interaction to escalate, the cat ends it on its own terms. This is not distance. This is awareness. Experts in animal behavior explain that this pattern shows emotional stability. The cat is comfortable enough to approach, but also confident enough to leave without hesitation. It does not cling. It does not depend. It connects, and then it resets. Think about the meaning behind that. Your cat is not avoiding you. It is engaging with you in a controlled way. It is saying, I choose this contact, and I choose when it ends. And that choice only exists when there is trust, because a fearful cat does not approach at all. There is also a detail most people never notice. Often, right before pulling away, the cat makes a brief, clear contact. A touch that completes the interaction. Almost like closing a conversation without words. The message has already been delivered. You are part of its world. And once you understand this, something else becomes clear. The cat is not rejecting you when it leaves. It is preserving the quality of the connection so it can return again. And it will return. But the next type of contact goes even deeper, because it happens in a moment when the cat is no longer in control in the same way. It happens when it sleeps. The sleep contact, the love that happens without defense. There is a moment when your cat does something it would never do in a state of alertness. It chooses to sleep while touching you, not near you, not in the same room. Direct contact. A paw resting on your arm, its body against yours, its head placed where it can feel you. And this changes everything. Studies of feline behavior show that sleep is the most vulnerable state a cat can enter. In that moment, its senses are reduced, its reaction time is slower, its ability to respond to danger is compromised. In the wild, this is when a cat is most exposed. So the choice of where and how it sleeps is never random. Researchers have observed that cats carefully select sleeping locations based on perceived safety. They avoid uncertainty, they avoid unpredictability, and most importantly, they avoid proximity to anything they do not fully trust. Now, think about what it means when your cat chooses to sleep in direct contact with you. This is not a decision made in the moment. It is the result of accumulated trust, a pattern of experiences that told the cat, again and again, that nothing bad happens when you are near, that your presence does not create tension, that your movements do not trigger alarm. Experts in animal behavior explain that when a cat sleeps touching someone, it is not seeking attention, it is not asking for interaction, it is placing itself in a position where it does not need to defend itself, it is letting go. And here is what makes this even more powerful. During sleep, the cat is not performing, it is not managing the interaction. There is no control, no adjustment, no monitoring. What you see in that moment is instinct without interference. Pure trust. There is also a subtle detail that most people overlook. Cats often maintain light contact while sleeping, even when they have space to move away. A paw remains touching. The body stays aligned, almost as if that contact is anchoring them, because it is. You are the reference point that allows the cat to relax completely. And once a cat reaches that level of trust, something else begins to appear, a form of contact that is stronger, more direct, and often misunderstood, because it feels like the cat is trying to hold you in place. The claim when your cat uses its body to hold you, there is a moment when your cat does something that feels almost intentional. It climbs onto you, settles its weight on your chest, your lap, or your legs, and positions itself in a way that makes it difficult for you to move. Sometimes it stretches across you, sometimes it blocks your path, sometimes it simply stays there, as if leaving is no longer an option. Most people see this as comfort. Some think it is laziness, but this is something else. Studies of feline behavior show that when a cat chooses to place its full body weight on someone, it is not just seeking warmth, it is creating a controlled point of contact, a position where the connection cannot be ignored, where the distance is reduced to zero. This is not passive, this is deliberate. Researchers have observed that cats use body positioning as a way to reinforce bonds and establish secure zones. By placing itself directly on you, the cat is not only seeking closeness, it is defining you as part of its immediate territory, its most trusted space. Experts in animal behavior explain that this behavior often appears in environments where the cat feels deeply safe. It is not cautious, it is not evaluating, it is acting with certainty. The cat is not just near you, it is claiming the moment, the space, and your presence within it. Think about the intensity of that. Your cat is choosing to limit your movement, not out of control, but out of connection. It is creating a situation where both of you remain in the same place, sharing the same physical boundary. And there is something even deeper happening here. When a cat rests its full body on you, it is synchronizing not just position, but rhythm. Your breathing, your stillness, your presence become part of its environment. It is no longer observing you from a distance, it is fully integrated into your space. This is one of the strongest forms of contact a cat can offer, because it leaves no separation. And once you understand this, you begin to see a pattern. Every touch, every movement, every moment of contact was never random. It was a language. A precise system of signals that you were never taught to read. And that leads to the final realization. You will never misread this again. Your cat was never distant. It was precise. All this time, you were waiting for something obvious, something undeniable, something that looked like love in a human way. But what your cat was offering you was something far more refined, a language built on intention, not exaggeration, a connection that does not demand attention, but reveals itself to those who learn to see. Studies of feline behavior show that cats do not waste energy on meaningless actions. Every movement, every touch, every decision to approach or withdraw is guided by instinct and emotional awareness. Nothing you saw was random. The brush was not just contact, it was inclusion. The micro-touch was not accidental. It was confirmation. The press was not convenience, it was synchronization. The head connection was not a habit, it was trust. The unexpected contact was not rejection, it was control. The sleep contact was not comfort alone, it was vulnerability. And the claim was not laziness, it was presence without distance. When you put all of this together, a different truth begins to emerge. Your cat has been communicating with you constantly, not in a way that demands your understanding, but in a way that reveals itself when you are ready to notice. Experts in animal behavior often explain that the relationship between a cat and a human is built slowly, through repeated moments of safety and consistency. Trust is not given. It is constructed, piece by piece, through experiences that confirm there is no threat. And your cat made that decision about you. That is what all of these contacts have in common. They are not random gestures. They are evidence of a choice your cat has already made. You are part of its world. Now, there is only one question that matters. How many times has your cat shown you this? And you did not see it, and now that you know, look closely at your cat today. Pay attention to the smallest movements, the briefest touches, the moments that seem easy to ignore, because this time, you will understand what they mean.